Oh, we're live. Hi, guys. Happy day 14 of the ABC challenge. We are officially in the second half of the challenge. Wow, we made it. So let's dive right into letter N today. If you're new to the challenge, there's some info down below. And otherwise, I am streaming this live. So if you're in the chat, hello and welcome. If you're not and you're watching this on the replay, I'm still super excited for you to be here. Let me know what you think of the series. All right, here we go. Let's start off with lowercase. I'm diving in because I've been just going over time lately. So for the letter N, it's similar to the letter M that we did yesterday where we had 2 overturns and a compound curve. This time we're going to just stop at the first overturn and then compound curve. Okay, so here we go. So I have my overturn, and we're going to add that to a compound curve. So if you got the M down, then the N will be no problem. Okay, so what that looks like is overturn, compound curve. Okay, and we are careful to, I'm going to kind of zoom in on this here. If this is our overturn, okay, pretend this is on a larger scale, and we add our pressure after the curve. Okay, so it's hairline, 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 then put pressure. Here's our thick stroke. Then for the next stroke, you're going to not put your tip on this side of the stroke. You're going to bring your tip on the right side of the stroke. And then finish out here. And here's your thick stroke. Okay? And if you're a lefty, same thing applies. If I create this overturn, then I'm going to make sure that the tip of my pen is on the outside of that stroke so that I can create my compound curve. Sound good? Okay. And this way, my downstroke remains on the slant there. Okay, and remember, we're thinking about our spaces here like they're filled. So actually, I would even argue that my compound curve here is a little bit constricted. So I may want to open this area up a little bit more because this area is a little bit bigger than this area and this area. Okay. Hi everyone in the chat, good to see you. Hi Neen, Justin, Isella, and Liza. Or Lisa, I'm not sure. Let me know. Okay, and then just a little bit of a bounce on the side. I love doing ends because you can vary the heights of the strokes. See this? So see how I'm still keeping my downstrokes on the slant line. I'm still keeping an even spacing, but I'm changing the heights of my curves and I'm going on and off of the baseline. So you can imagine that. I'll try to find some name examples with letter N's inside of the name and we could see how that looks like. Okay. For the uppercase, now this one's tricky. This is probably one of my least favorite uppercase letters, just being honest with you. We're going to do a basic upstroke, but this is where it gets tricky. You're actually going to stay on the 55. Okay, remember how sometimes we don't want to do that? Like with our letter M, we wanted this to be off of the slant line. Here we actually are going to follow the slant line. Okay. Then you're going to add that to a vertical swelled stroke. So what that looks like is a little bit of pressure. You're going to gradually go into the pressure in the middle, and then you're going to end off with a point. And this is not my favorite. We're going to have to redo this one, okay? But the idea is that you start off with a hairline, you end with a hairline, and then the swell, okay, that shade is in the middle. Now this is another tricky stroke because it's not on our downstroke, which is what we typically want. So like with everything, there's always a little bit of an exception. So here's one of them. Then after that, you're going to start from that inside of that. You're going to start at the baseline from that swelled stroke and come out with a basic stroke. Okay, I'm going to add some arrows here just for you in case it helps. And then when we put that all together, it looks like this. So stay on the slant line. Okay, and you want to keep the second stroke, the second upstroke, on the slant line as well, and then just curve just after just at the end of this last ascending space. Because what you want is you want these strokes here, this area and this area, to be parallel with each other. Okay, other than the curve. So we're not going to be counting the curve here. So here's my curve, here's a little bit of a curve, and then here's the other curve. So other than those curved areas, you want the rest of it to be parallel. Let's do it one more time. So upstroke, staying on the slant line, vertical, swelled stroke, tapering off to the baseline, and then out with a hairline. Okay, let's do some names. So on Instagram, I asked you guys for some name examples. Just scrolling all the way to the bottom. Natalia, let's do that one. Okay. So sometimes I start off with my terminal dot instead of adding it afterward. It's up to you. Okay, and then you can either do your entrance stroke or just go right into the letter. So here I'm going to do Natalia. And you know, yesterday I forgot the name of the person who commented, and she was asking me why I flourished the A at the end, and honestly it's just to fill up some of the space. It's just for style purposes. It's just for fun. You totally don't have to. So see how I just ended this here with your basic upstroke. This is like your standard A, but sometimes you just want to mix it up. You don't want to be so basic, or once you feel comfortable with the basics and you want to expand, then that's when you would want to practice different flourishes. Okay, let's see. Oh, Nanette. Okay, Nanette was a student of mine in Utah. Can you believe that? Okay. And you can curve this around a little bit more if you know you have the space to spare. And what I mean by that is I know that I don't have any ascenders that would potentially touch this area here. Okay. All right. What other names do we have? Any name suggestions in the chat? Okay, I want something with a downstroke, with a descender. Okay, Nancy. Okay, let's do a little bit of a different version of an N. I'm gonna do a teardrop shaped entrance stroke, a full pressure stroke. This is kind of like your print N, okay? I used to do this version a lot because I wasn't really comfortable with the copperplate version, so this is kind of my pseudo letter N there. It's missing a little bit of a stroke there, but oh, and I'm making it worse. Okay, there you go. Sorry, Nancy. Let's do Nicholas. So this other version of an N, I purposely start off with a hairline. I add a little bit of a pressure, and then I come back to a hairline, and then I follow this area that same stroke. It's kind of like the letter M that I did yesterday, if you remember that. Okay. All right. Let's see. A couple of other names. Okay. Let's do, oh, this is a really short one. Neri. After this one, I'm gonna do a little bit of the bounce lettering. Okay, let's find a name that has Nathaniel. Okay, it's a nice long name. Let's see if we can use our bounce technique to bounce off and on the slant line. I mean the base line, but in keeping our keeping in that pace. You don't want to you don't want to get too much going on. That's just my personal preference of still keeping it readable. Okay, so see how I'm still keeping an even pacing, but then I'm coming on and off of the baseline, and then I'm going above the X height here. Okay. Nigara, is that how you pronounce that? Okay, we can try that. Let's see, I haven't done this version before. I'm gonna just try it. I honestly have not done, let's see. Oh, I guess it works, right? Do you think it works? Oh, no worries, you're not tardy in the chat, Leticia. Oh, we missed your name for L, didn't I? I owe you one. I think it was you back when we did letter A and you were requesting your name. So, I like this version. Let's do it again. Nicolette. All right, guys, I have a question of the day for you if you're in the chat or if you're watching this on the replay. So my question is, what, if you had to pick one subject to write the alphabet, what would it be? So obviously I'm doing names. Can you give me a suggestion for yourself or for me of what you could do A through Z? So for example, countries or song titles, or I don't want to give you too many examples, but that's my question for you. So kind of a funny one, but that is letter N for the day. Thanks you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Be sure you're tagging your work on Instagram and come back tomorrow for letter O, and it'll just be downhill from here. We are cruising along, and I will see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, you guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Any concerns, and just leave that in a comment and I will check those. Otherwise, this was a pretty smooth demo. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'd love if you'd give my video a thumbs up and just subscribe if you're interested in more videos, because I'm hoping to continue producing these for you on a weekly basis after the ABC challenge. So, all right, signing off. Good night. See you tomorrow.